He's Ronnie Mendel. I'm Dylan Traeger. We'd like to welcome you to Deerfield High School in the Warrior Gym for the IHSA Regional Championship between the Vernon Hills Cougars and the Barrington Broncos. Ronnie, I haven't had a call with you since last year. It's great to be back with you. How you feeling today?
Man, I am feeling great. Even better that I get to call a game with the man himself, Dylan Traeger. And man, we are treated to two really good teams. Two teams that have stars all over the floor and lots of senior players, lots of players who may have their last game today. So you're going to see two very hungry teams. Watching these teams over the past few days, it's going to be a battle.
And I'm really looking forward to this one. I know you were here last night watching Deerfield versus Barrington. Barrington being the 5 seed, Deerfield being the 12 seed. What was something you noticed last night? Who was kind of flowing really well for that Barrington team?
Well, there's two guys who really stick out. Mainly, of course, the Pepperdine commit, number 19, Cole Harkey. If he is in position to get a kill, you are in trouble if you're Vernon Hills. So you really can't let him be in position to get a good shot. And also, number 8, Aiden Gilmore, I thought was very impressive with the serves, had multiple aces, made Deerfield go in some uncomfortable spots, especially in the second set. First set was really competitive, and then Barrington really showed their willpower in the second set, ended up winning. They got some good players, but yes, I think 8, the libero, Gilmore, and the 19, Cole Harkey, were the two guys that really stood out.
And so something I've noticed before we get the game started, this Barrington team did beat Vernon Hills 2-0 on May 4th. Do you think that previous beef brings anything going into this game?
I would say a little bit, because that wasn't that long ago, and these teams are close together, basically a town apart, and this is a championship, so no matter what, I think that does have something to do with it. Of course, Vernon Hills has obviously thought about that matchup and stuff they can correct for today's game right here. Right now, it's 1-0 Barrington. Serving. Vernon Hills can't get the dig. Ace for Barrington. They're up 2-0 early in this game.
And that's the second point in a row that the Vernon Hills freshman Aiden Kim hasn't been able to dig it and has forced Vernon Hills to lose the point.
Peter Wozniak with another serve. Vernon Hills in position. Back to Barrington. Cole Harkey with the set. And the Cougars knock it out. First point of the game for Vernon Hills. Josh Cahill doing the dirty work there.
And that's a huge block from Vernon Hills at the net. You got to remember, this is a win or go home game for both sides. A lot of these seniors won't play volleyball again. They're bringing everything they can onto the floor today.
Braden Glassman with the serve. He's one of the shortest guys on the team, only 5'8". They got tons of guys over 6 feet. As Barrington took advantage of the scuffly serve there. So it's back now to the Broncos, and as I aforementioned earlier, Aiden Gilmore with the serve.
That's the third point in a row. Vernon Hills hasn't been able to dig under. Definitely looking like a weakness for them.
That's 7, Ben Miller. And it is in play. That was a successful kill. Ben Miller's had some honors this year for his plays. Very successful season for the Vernon Hill Cougar player there.
Definitely, and he also has 367 kills on the year, which is a Vernon Hills single season record. A really impressive stat from Miller, the senior, who's playing in his potentially last game of his volleyball career tonight. But 367 kills, that is an incredible and very impressive number.
Remember, early start here today. This is a championship 4:30 start. Both of these teams have graduation to go to right after this one. How incredible.
Yeah, so what's actually crazy is over on the left side by Vernon Hills, a lot of the players, they're buttoned down in suits, are hanging on the railing. And we'll show that later on at a timeout or a TV break, but really something you never see.
I mentioned to Dylan Traeger, I'm like, dude, this sounds like the Kentucky Derby right here. I mean, I didn't know I was walking in the Warrior Gym. It would be like I'm at a horse race or something with all the guys dressed. Right now, the score is 5-2.
And I think what I like most about some of these playoff volleyball games is how fast-paced they are. You know, these games, they're quick. They may only take 45 minutes to an hour, but they're incredibly fast-paced, and the best thing is the game could change within a matter of a few points.
Cole Harkey there, a little too much power again. And yeah, you mentioned it, most high school sports take 2-3 hours, especially baseball and stuff. For these parents, they get to watch fast-paced, fun game. They get to see a lot of players play, and it's right, 45 minutes. It's quick. You get to see lots of action. Bumped there by the Cougars. 7. Miller gets the point.
And I think what it honestly comes down to in playoff volleyball, who has the tallest guy at the net blocking the shots? Because you see both sides have these guys well over 6 feet tall, 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", and if they're able to block half of these shots at the net, they'll be very successful.
Yeah, and then each team kind of has their own package too of like how many guys they want up in front of the net. You see some teams like Deerfield, who I've watched throughout the year, they'll have like 2-3 guys up in the net. Barrington maybe a little less. They got one guy because Harkey is so big that they maybe want to spread out a little bit more. So it's kind of interesting to see how each of these teams allocate their size and have guys up in the net or spaced out throughout the floor and whatsoever. Barrington with the incredible diving save. Cougars get it. Back to Barrington. This set keeps on going. That's 6 to libero. And unsuccessful block for Harkey, and the Cougars take the lead.
And there it comes again, just like I said in the last point. It comes to whoever has the taller player at the net. And there it is. The senior captain, Cole Harkey, gets up there, gets the jump, and blocks it down, winning the point.
Man, there's got to be some nerves today for a game of this magnitude, right? Like, these teams are very closely seeded. Vernon Hills is the 4 seed, Barrington's the 5 seed. Again, these teams have played against each other already. There's a lot of the line here tonight.
And here's the captain, Cole Harkey, serving. He can do it out the net. Let's watch him serve and see how his skills are at the back of the court.
And service error for Cole Harkey. You don't see that often from a player of his caliber. Vernon Hills will gladly take it. And now their star, Ben Miller, will try to return the favor back.
Ronnie, what were some of the takeaways you gathered last night from watching Harkey play here at Deerfield?
Harkey is phenomenal, and he can really, he's like, in baseball, they have a 5-tool player. That's who Cole Harkey is. He can do everything. He could spike, he can set, he can serve, he can do everything. And I think he makes his teammates so much better. I think without Cole Harkey on the floor, not to throw any shade or anything, but Barrington's a lot different of a team without Harkey because he just does so much for the other players. Vernon Hills, though, they've been on fire lately. Up 9-6. We'll be back with you in 1 minute after the Barrington timeout. Going Vernon Hills, that's 3. Boehm, far left, and Barrington gets a much-needed point. Now serving for the Broncos. Looks like it's number 17, Eric Zatswani. Junior does not have to go to graduation today. And Barrington takes advantage of the size. Sam Grodzik with the point there. Vernon Hills couldn't reach out.
And a really close game, 9-8 after that timeout break. Whatever Barrington was talking about obviously is working. Here as they try and go on a roll. You see a different formation. 2 guys in the middle, 3 on the right side. Let's see how that works for Barrington.
Traeger, I got a fun question to ask you.
Okay.
If you were a volleyball player and you got to pick your position, what position would you want to be?
So believe it or not, I played volleyball middle school. At Caruso Middle School, I played for 2 years, 7th and 8th grade. And I like to serve. That was my strong part of my game. I was never too tall, so I didn't do too good at the net. But serving, I was really consistent. What about you? Where would you put?
I mean, as short as I am, I have to say the libero. I mean,
you might be better as a coach.
Are you saying I don't have the athletic ability to play volleyball?
I'm saying some of these guys might get up to the net, and I don't know. I'm not sure you could defend the net.
Yeah, I would need some stilts or something. I would need to go to the carnival and steal them from all the clowns over there. But, yeah, I would probably say libero. It's the only thing I could
libero or coach?
Maybe do. Or coach.
As there's a huge
Show
spike.
me the money, Cole Harkey. Middle of the court wide open, and Barrington reties it. It's 10 apiece right now. In the first set, remember this is best 2 out of 3. Each game goes up to 25.
And Cole Harkey might be the MVP difference maker of this game for Barrington. It's almost every point. He's the one putting the ball in his hands. The game is in his hands the whole time.
Tipped off Barrington. Vernon Hills takes advantage of that. Point for the Cougars. Entering the game for Vernon Hills, makes some substitutions. Number 9, Brian Kim, had a very good quarterfinal game against North Chicago.
Ron, I really want to stress how tall this Vernon Hills team. Only 1 guy, 2 guys at 5'8". Everyone else taller. A lot of 6-footers. I think that's where they find a lot of their success. They got a whole team of guys who can go up to the net, block shots, and get kills.
Well,
and that's what brings success to volleyball teams. You look at the other team as well.
I think for most of the season that's true, but this Barrington team is pretty big as well. So I think that kind of neutralizes in a game like this with 2 really good teams, obviously. I love watching the fight at the net right now. We got Vernon Hills too long. Barrington with the point. We've seen that a few times now, the last few points. Cougars going a little too long on their kill attempts.
You know, I was actually just going to comment on that. Both sides have been bringing a lot of extra room on their shots at the net, and I think that's been a struggle for both sides. Definitely something the coach has got to touch on, not hitting the ball as hard, leaving a little extra room.
He makes up for it, Josh Cahill. With the point,
and it's a 12-12 tie right now.
We got a ping-pong match here. These teams going back and forth, exchanging points recently. Parker Ellis with the serve. Barrington does get the point, barely inside the line.
And it's another really impressive point at the net from the captain, Cole Hartke. Now it's Matt Lewis, the junior, subbing in for Barrington.
Here's my guy, Aiden Gilmore. The libero serving for Barrington. That's Cahill. Bumped up by Barrington. Miscommunication, and it's going to be 4-hit violation. Point for the Cougars. That was a really good hit by Cahill, number 5 there.
And I do want to touch base on this. Don't forget, this Vernon Hills Cougars team won the regional last year. And it's a lot of the same returning guys that are now upperclassmen, juniors and seniors, looking to carry this Vernon Hills team to back-to-back regionals. You got a full bench of coaches. Looks like they're carrying 4 or 5 coaches and alumni helping out this Cougars team is thirsty for that second regional.
Yeah, that's something good you mentioned. Both teams have very full benches when it comes to coaches, when it comes to players. And that just shows, I think, how important volleyball is to some of these schools, because I was watching some of these quarterfinals matchups with half-empty benches.
What really shocked me, Vernon Hills has 15 players on their varsity roster, and when they won their first game of the regionals against North Chicago, all 15 players checked in to contribute.
That's awesome.
And that's not something you ever see in any other sport. But for a strong Vernon Hills team that's deep, to really get into their bench, get everyone in, is really impressive and shows a bit of an underdog story from a lot of those guys at the end of the bench.
Point for the Broncos. Oliver Moore there. Barrington has been making a lot of substitutions, though, throughout this game, too. Trying to shuffle it up with the formations and everything. They know they're not fooling Vernon Hills. They know what they like to do. So Barrington trying to switch things up.
Well, I also would add that this Barrington team has played Vernon Hills. They know what their weaknesses could be. And I also would keep in mind that Barrington does have 2 or 3 different setters that can go out there and really set the ball. Besides Adrian Wu, who does most of the setting, they also have the junior Carson Skinner behind him. At 6 feet tall, he gets a lot of the sets in at the net for Barrington.
Yeah, talking about the seniors, Vernon Hills has a very senior-led-in team. About 70% of their team is seniors, so this wouldn't this just be a great night for them if they won and then they graduate, like, for either of these teams?
You know, also a good thing about Vernon Hills, a big school like that, despite having all these kids graduating, they keep bringing in more kids to the program, really developing them. The alumni network for Vernon Hills programs are so strong. You see you've got 4 or 5 alumni here helping with the coaching. These guys love volleyball. You got a bunch of alumni volleyball players in the stands. It's really a family at Vernon Hills.
Barrington there, wide again. Number 11, Gavin Rolwig. A little too much power on that one, and Vernon Hills now, again, talking about the exchange of these points, it's still tied. I feel like every time I look at the scoreboard, it's a tie game. Shows how competitive these teams are with one another. And the block there, Sam Grozik. 3 blocks, 3 they say,
and something you really got to be careful with is when you're playing the net, not going over that invisible line, dividing your side from the opponent's side, not touching the net. Some of these times, you know, the referees on the stand might call that
a violation.
A violation,
yeah.
Exactly. And I have seen a bit of that today. It hasn't been called. It's been coming from both sides. Definitely something you got to be careful of.
Adrian Wu, long serve, Vernon Hills. Cahill. And as I've been saying all game, unforced errors, that just can't happen. Too long for Vernon Hills. Barrington now extends its lead to 2, which in this game seems a lot.
Yeah, a lot of these shots keep going long. If they would have skipped the gym one time this week, those shots would be in.
Cahill's too short. And Vernon Hills, they just need to find a happy medium. They've been too long. Now they may be going too short. They need to find what's right. They need to adjust. That's what they're doing. Timeout for Vernon Hills. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Back in the stands at the Deerfield High School, he's Ronnie Mendel. I'm Dylan Traeger, and it's a really, really close regional championship here. Vernon Hills 16, Barrington 19. Take it away, Ronnie.
Barrington, they've coupled up the last few points here, up 3. Vernon Hills can't get to it, and Barrington has found the formula, it seems, to stop Vernon Hills for the meantime. Broncos keep on rolling. I want to shout out the server right now for Barrington, number 2. Adrian Wu, he's been doing a phenomenal job placing these serves right where Vernon Hills can't seem to get a successful possession going. Barrington busy up net. And that's where the streak ends. Vernon Hills, that's, let's see, number 7, Ben Miller.
And speaking on Adrian Wu from Barrington, I also would like to add, when Barrington defeated Vernon Hills a couple of weeks ago, Adrian Wu did most of the setting. He had 16 assists on Vernon Hills. An absolute great game from Wu.
Wait, 16 assists? I mean, that sounds overwhelming just from the stands.
I think they'll definitely get their parade if they can take the regional championship away.
We got the junior Peter Wozniak now serving. And man, Vernon Hills and Ben Miller is going to want that back right in their lap. And it gets taken out. Barrington there at the easy point, creeping towards that 25 that they need to win the first set.
And you know what, right there, Max Atkinson looks like a penguin gliding down a hill, trying to save that ball. It's been a constant struggle for Vernon Hills getting a dig or diving down to save a ball, and they've definitely lost way too many points off of hitting the ball away. It's timeout. Vernon Hills 17, Barrington 22. We'll be back shortly. Back at Deerfield High School, he's Ronnie Mendel. I'm Dylan Traeger. And looking at what happened during this timeout break, you didn't see much, if any, coaching from Barrington. More so a player huddle that looked like Cole Hartke kind of dancing by the Warrior logo. But Vernon Hills had a deep talk. Ronnie, what do you think was being discussed in that Vernon Hills huddle?
Oh, 100%. It's got to be how they start their possessions after the serves from Barrington. They either just don't get it, or they have it in bad positions, which allows them to almost have to keep up and then not have a successful kill or block or whatever they need to get in the offensive possession. It just seems they've been a step behind the last 5-10 minutes or so. Barrington's really imposing their will at the net and with the serves here. And what I think, if you're Vernon Hills, you just got to go back to your fundamentals. It seems like they're losing it, like just some simple stuff like blocking and setting that will lead to points. They're very good, they're talented, and it seems like maybe they've regrouped now.
It's a lot of simple mistakes, as you said, but all it takes is 1 point to turn it around. You see that one, a simple mistake by Barrington. Ball was above his head, and he's at the baseline.
Momentum's a funny thing, Dylan.
Yeah.
Like, things could switch in a second.
But something I was taught when I played volleyball is if you're in the back, if the ball's at your head, it's going out. So for a 6-footer to be setting it from the back line, not a good look.
Yeah, Dylan Traeger has had a distinguished volleyball career, 2 years of middle school volleyball. It's a lot more than what I could say. I have not played volleyball.
You know, I definitely learned a lot.
I just don't have the size.
I definitely learned a lot, you know, between all the PA announcing and the broadcasting for Deerfield volleyball and the regionals, you learn.
Well, Barrington's on match point here all of a sudden. They're setting up. It looks like we're about to get a Harkey bomb. No. Sixkin doesn't get it, and the Cougars stay alive. Gasp of hope for Vernon Hills.
And it's Ben Miller for the Cougars standing at the net. posing a large threat. The captain is at 6'3". No one wants to mess with him.
And Barrington there gets the point, wins the set, and leads 1-0. Matt Lewis there finishes it. We're going to be on break. Barrington 25, Vernon Hills 20. Very exciting. Stay tuned for the second set in approximately 3 minutes.
We're here in between the first and the second set, and I've got Vernon Hills alumni volleyball player Evan Hessel. Evan, you're on the club team at Indiana. You won the regional last year with Vernon Hills. What do you think Vernon Hills needs to change to get a momentum going?
Yeah, so I think we just need to limit the hitting errors and figure out a system with our offense, and then we'll be good. Yeah, I love the energy that they have. They just need to get a couple kills and get it going, and they'll be fine.
Is there any of these players you've been watching that you've had your eye on today?
Ben Miller.
Ben Miller.
Ben Miller and Max Atkinson.
Those are your guys?
Yeah, those are my guys. They're looking real good out there.
And if you're coaching the circle, what are you telling your team right now?
Find a way to keep the ball in play as a hitter, even if the set isn't there. Try to make something work. Find a way to get a kill. Yeah.
All right, Evan. It's been great having you on today.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. Good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
Vernon Hills versus Barrington regional final. Winner goes on to sectionals. Plays the winner of Loyola and Niles North. It is trophy season here. If you missed the first set, Barrington won 25-20. Teams were kind of matching points at the beginning, but the Broncos found very successful performances out of Harkey and others, which allowed them to extend the lead, win 25-20. Vernon Hills now starting the serve for the beginning of the second set. Harkey's shot goes all the way in the ceiling. Is it going to come down? It does. The Cougars keep it alive. And the second attempt is successful. What a wild way to start the second set.
Cole Harkey, all I got to say, you mess with the bull, you're going to get the horns. A crazy kill there from him. And for anyone just tuning in, we had Vernon Hills volleyball alumni Evan Hessel on. Talk a little about his experience playing at Indiana on the club team and talk about what he notices with this Vernon Hills team, the struggles and who to look out for.
Ben Miller with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, and Barrington can't recoup it. 1-1, Cahill serving for the Cougars. That was Wu to Harkey. Lewis tries to keep it up, back to Barrington. And the mess by the net comes out successful for Vernon Hills. Harkey doing his thing. Vernon Hills keeps it alive. Barely out of bounds. Barrington warded the point.
And Ronnie, so now we see Barrington took the first set. They've got a little momentum. Do you think it's okay to start letting some of their big players rest, or would you keep them all in?
No, this is a championship game. I kind of have a rule, a philosophy when it comes to any sport. If you're in the playoffs, there is no laying down. You don't. That's what you use the regular season to rest some guys or maybe try out a different lineup. When you're in the playoffs, you leave nothing in doubt. Nothing.
So
I feel strongly about that.
In terms of fatigue or injuries, you don't worry about that at all?
I do not worry about that. When it's playoffs and when it's one game and you're done, you don't want to leave anything out there.
I like that philosophy, especially when each of these teams are carrying, 13, 15 players each. I think you can afford to let these guys play it all.
Right, and if you're a coach for Barrington Vernon Hills and you have a deep roster and you feel like all the talent level is pretty similar, then do that. But if you just want to give a guy experience just to give him it, the playoffs is not the time to do it. This is when it really counts. And again, you don't want to have any regrets in a game like this.
And especially considering a lot of these guys, it's their last game of their career, you got to bring in everything you can and leave it all on the floor. Give it all you got. It's Vernon Hills 4, Barrington 3. Barrington is serving, looking to keep that momentum swinging.
Vernon Hills
forward.
is what, as Scott Hansen says, is in the witching hour right now. They got Cole Harkey on the serve for Barrington, and this could be a scary sequence for Vernon Hills. They got to watch out here.
And I'm also looking at the Vernon Hills rotational alignment right here. You got 2 guys up at the net, 4 in the back, getting ready for wherever this ball goes. I'm always a big fan of looking at the statistical and seeing where these type of alignments work.
Well, it seemed to work this time because Vernon Hills takes advantage. Point for the Cougars. Out of bounds from the Broncos. Cougars make more substitutions. And now Vernon Hills, look how close everyone is to the net.
And it's Liam Bohm, the 6'4 junior, subbing in for Vernon Hills. He gets the serve, and he can't get it to go just a bit strong past the baseline. Barrington down 1 with the serve in their hands.
Matt Lewis was the one serving there. Vernon Hills, Lewis retrieves it. Broncos keep it alive. Bounce backwards. And the reflexes get the point to the Cougars. What an effort there by Barrington, though, to keep that alive.
And look at that from Julian Rodriguez. You have a 6'4 frame. Use it to your advantage. He did exactly that, winning the point, subbing right out. He is stoked on the bench, going crazy.
Net. Tacked into the net for Vernon Hills. Barrington now with the point. Vernon Hills just can't take the lead. It seems as they can't break away. Barrington has just not allowed the Cougars to come in a sustained run. Vernon Hills set back to Barrington. Harkey, back to Vernon Hills. Miller, and that's 11 there. Gavin Rowig with the putback right into the ground.
And something I've noticed from Vernon Hills, a slight change in the second game. Rather than killing the ball at the net, they've been lightly setting it over defenders at the net. I think you got to make adjustments when things aren't working.
They want to avoid those unforced errors. They don't want to be walking away from this game and saying, you know what, we left things sit out. We had many different attempts go out of bounds and whatsoever. They want to, you know what, if they lose, it's because we got beat. And I think that's what they're going to try to do in the second set. That's what we have seen. Another service error for Barrington. Kim now turning for Vernon Hills. Bump save, whistle blown. It's going to be a violation, 2-hit for Vernon Hills, point back to Barrington.
Ronnie, you definitely see a wide variety of different serves. You see high ones, you see hard ones, ones with spin. Is there a certain type of serve you've seen that kind of works better for any team?
I think it just depends on the positioning. However, if you really want to rack up points, you got to go for a faster, lower serve. Obviously, there's more risk involved in that, but if you serve a lollipop high serve, it really doesn't benefit your team. You're just in the normal play. You should have the advantage if you're serving. So if you have guys who are able to successfully have low-lining serves, I would recommend that over the high-arcing one. Easy bump there for Barrington. Back to Vernon Hills. Too long there. We've seen that from Ben Miller, who's been one of the main catalysts for Vernon Hills. Done a great job, but has also had multiple go a little too long. Very fun atmosphere here at the Warrior Gym today. I'd say the crowd's about 50-50, right, Dylan?
Yeah, definitely 50-50.
All dressed in their team's colors or in their graduation clothes, one of the two.
Yeah, it's really funny because on the Vernon Hill side, it's about half blue, half graduation. And on the Barrington side, you see about half red and half graduation. Both of these teams going right to graduation ceremony after this.
Ben Miller, another net violation. That's the one thing you can't have happen if you're Vernon Hills right now.
And we talked about this in game one. These violations at the net, I went very heavy into it, really detailed. It's not something you see as often outside of playoff games. I think guys are a lot more aggressive when the game's on the line, the season's on the line.
Oh my goodness, you just missed one of the craziest sequences I saw. It almost looked like Cole Harkey was grabbing onto the ball as Vernon Hills was trying to serve it down, but Barrington ended up actually recouping it, getting the point there. That was like the Superman ride at Six Flags. It was just going all over the place there.
And there it is again from Cole Harkey. He gives it a big boom.
And this was the point in the last set where we saw Barrington start to separate. So it's kind of interesting to see that at this exact point, Barrington is starting to get a feel for what Vernon Hills is doing. The stars are coming out, and now the Broncos have a 3-point lead.
You know, these are the type of players like Cole Harkey that make a team be successful. Someone who can do every aspect of the game in a positive way. As there it is from Cole Harkey.
I just heard Cole Harkey scream at the top of his lungs. He really wants this. He's in his feels right now. Barrington is on a run confirmed. Gilmore, another serve. Let's see if Vernon Hills can get a point out of this. Ben Miller flashing his wings. Point for the Cougars, much needed.
A great kill there from the 6'4" junior Liam Bohm. And it's a great way to end off that struggle you've had. Barrington
see how aggressive Cahill's on the serve. And again, he went a little too low there, and you might be saying to me, Dylan, well, you know what? Maybe they should go a little higher on the serves, but Cahill, I think, just missed that one. 9-13 the score. Wu with the serve, and he skyrockets that all the way to Missouri. I mean, that ball went all over the place.
Seriously,
that went really far.
And that's certainly something you can't make a mistake of, especially in a close playoff game. That's an easy point you're just giving out. they're not asking you to serve a missile, but all you got to do is serve it in.
Although the volleyball can feel like a missile at some time. 2-8 violation for Barrington. Vernon Hills fans got excited over that one.
This is the type of momentum that could start up for Vernon Hills, getting a few points and starting a little rally. That's 2 points in a row off of simple mistakes from Barrington.
Set, miscommunication. Barrington wasn't hawking there. Vernon Hills takes advantage. And now the lead's only 1 for Barrington. Yeah, it just seemed like there was some sort of miscommunication on that.
You know, in the blink of an eye, this Vernon Hills team that was down 5 points and wasn't looking in good shape is only down 1.
Now 2.
Now 2. My mistake. But this team definitely has that sort of chemistry to stay in this game and be competitive. And it's Sarthik Agrawal, this 5'9" senior checking in. Sarthik actually took home.
It almost looks like, I'm sorry, you keep going, I'll mention this after.
He took home the CSL Sportsmanship recipient. He's attending Duke this year, but definitely a player you need on the team when you're trying to build that momentum.
Well, the volleyball guys are on the side of Cole Harkey with that serve. Barely gets it over through the net, but I was going to mention, when Cole Harkey's serving, it almost looks like Vernon Hills is in an arc or something. A type of formation that you mentioned earlier that we just don't really see often. It's just because he is so powerful. Hits the net again, and this is just, doesn't this almost seem unfair? It's like Cole Harkey, it almost seems like he's a college player already, and
you know, when you've got
too good for high school.
When you have a frame like Cole Harkey and you're defending and you're returning his serve, you got to stay really back to the baseline because he's hitting it hard, and you don't want to set that return. You want to be able to bump it.
Well, Vernon Hills sensed the trouble there now. They're down 4 again. They call timeout, 16-12. We'll be back 30 seconds. Hills huddle, and they seem really juiced. They still seem confident. They're down 4, but there is so much game left here. 16-12. Let's see if they're able to even get one of these serves from Cole Harkey.
And it looks like there's some sort of miscommunication or injury.
Yeah, the music is kind of signaling that.
Yeah,
is this the Kahoot theme song that I'm hearing right now?
You know, I think it is. Barrington is lined up ready to go. There's only 5 players out on the floor for Vernon Hills, and I can't quite tell what the delay is.
Yeah, we got some silence now from everybody here. It looks like some substitution thing or something of that magnitude. I don't know, but we're back, so.
I think it was a nosebleed for Ben Miller, the captain. But we're back to play anyways now. It's Barrington up 4, 16-12.
Vernon Hills does retrieve that, Ben Miller, but as he has all game, Matt Lewis has been phenomenal at the net.
And the greatest thing as a coach is when your best player and your biggest guy is in the back row, you can have someone else step up and keep winning the points at the net. That really shows how deep this Barrington team truly is.
Miller tries again, and unsuccessful. Another time, does get it over the net, but out on the right side.
And it's Barrington on a huge run.
Huge run.
18-12. It goes up to 25. This could be it for Vernon Hills' long run season.
Again, as Dylan mentioned, they were regional champs last year, so they do know the spotlight. Vernon Hills does save it off the ceiling. Back to the Broncos. That's 9 with the shot. And point to Vernon Hills. That was a net violation there from Barrington. So although it looked like they got the point, not so fast. The
And
Cougars,
Ronnie, I wish we could have a scoreboard graphic to show how many net violations this Vernon Hills team has had, because the tallies are getting full here.
yeah, unfortunately, we do not have access to that. That would be interesting to look at. Sam Grozick there with the kill. And again, yeah, you mentioned just how deep. Like, I could just run through these names from Barrington. Adrian Wu, John Sun, Aiden Gilmore, Gavin Rolig, Peter Wozniak, Matt Lewis, Cole Harkey. There's so many good players on this team that if one is out or one is serving, that the other one could just fill in, and it's really just a machine. You know how they called those New England Patriots teams in the 2010s? They were just like Goliath. They called them Goliath. That's what this Barrington team is. They're Goliath.
Every guy just looks and plays so comfortably. They look like this is a natural setting for them on the floor, and they just mesh so well together. I'm really impressed.
And Aiden Kim there, right spot, right time, right place. Vernon Hills with the point, and just job well done there by the Cougars.
And, really bad placement for Sam Grozdik. Really just looked like he was kind of in no man's land on the volleyball court. He couldn't get there, kind of fell to his knees and had to put one arm out and try and fist it up, which he was unable to.
Wow. Sports Center, we need that play on the show. We just witnessed who I was so excited I didn't even see who that was, but that was an incredible kill, just down on the floor. Ball bounces back up. I need to see a replay of that right now.
Da-na-na, da-na-na. It's Barrington.
Scott Van Pelt, we're calling you right now.
4 points away for Barrington from taking this regional championship, 21-14. And you're seeing something different here. Serving from the left side. Not going to work. That's the first time I've seen that.
Yeah,
something
that
different.
That is interesting.
You are allowed to do that in volleyball. You can serve from wherever as long as behind the baseline, but that's our first time today.
It seems unnatural to serve from that side.
They must have known something that we don't.
The precision there. Wait, they kept that up.
So I thought that hit the floor.
I thought that too. And I know what? I think that might have been missed. I really think it hit the ground there. Vernon Hills, I think, caught a break.
But regardless, really good placement from Barrington. Instead of spiking it, going for the little upcut.
Saved by Vernon Hills. The block out of bounds. Missed opportunity for the Cougars. Barrington 3 points away from winning the match.
Really good technique there from the senior Brian Kim on Vernon Hills.
I thought that was a great, think about this for
great shot.
For these regional championships. Have you spotted the trophy anywhere? Where's the trophy? I love looking at these trophies.
So I don't think it's a trophy. I think it's more of a plaque.
A plaque, yeah. That's what I meant,
For the sectionals, you get the trophy. But I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens after the game. It's Vernon Hills serving for Vernon Hills, Josh Kepper, the 6-foot senior. Vernon Hills down 17-22 against this strong, well-played Barrington team. Whistle blown, and there it is, Vernon Hills taking another point. Finally catching that late game rhythm. Really hungry to stay in the game.
Yeah, I think he expected someone to be there from Barrington, and they just were matched kind of in the wrong part of the court. Some type of sort of miscommunication, which we have seen earlier. Barrington with the set here. Cole Harkey just kind of wallows it down. Back to Vernon Hills. And the Cougars are starting to find their footing. Ben Miller with the point.
And I keep seeing on this Vernon Hills side, the ball keeps going up to the ceiling. They got to realize they're playing in the Warrior Gym. Ceilings are low. You need to adjust.
And anything's in play. We have seen Balls go off the ceiling twice. We have seen it ricochet off the court, whatever. It is all in play. And the Vernon Hills fans are getting really loud here. This game is a 2-point game all of a sudden. Barrington takes timeout. They're looking for some adjustments. We'll be back.
It is incredibly loud in here. The bleachers are shaking and bouncing, literally, as Barrington takes the floor. The Barrington parents and student section are up, jumping, clapping, and shouting as YMCA
The
is
YMCA
jamming.
fires up everybody. Everybody.
I'm fired
It's
up.
America's song.
You're fired up. Vernon Hills serving down
Eagle has had
2.
many successful serves so far. Let's see if he can keep this going. Barrington does retrieve this. Harkey. No good. Excuse me, that was out of bounds. Barrington will get the point there. Solid attempt there by Vernon Hills.
And all I'm saying, Ronnie, is when Cole Harkey gets in the net, if you're in his way, all you can do is pray for yourself, because a missile is incoming.
Ben Miller takes advantage. Barrington had numbers, but out of bounds. And that's where that's Vernon Hill's sweet spot. Right on the left side, where Ben Miller usually is positioned. That's where they've gotten the majority of their points, out of bounds from Barrington. Just kind of a point to think about, especially if Vernon Hills comes back right here. Hill by Cole Harkey there, flexing his muscles. And all of a sudden, it is match point for Barrington. They're all standing up here at the Warrior Gym. It is very tense. Vernon Hills on the last gasp of hope.
It's Barrington
Serving
1
number
point
7,
away.
Carson Skinner. Vernon Hills, 17. Saved by the Cougars, 7, Ben Miller. And they stay alive.
And this time it's Aiden Gilmore, the sophomore libero, who's played almost the entire game unable to keep the ball in the air, sending it behind him. Vernon Hills gets the chance to serve and stay alive, down 22-24. This is closer than anyone could have imagined, Ronnie.
It's what we kind of expected. 4 seed, 5 seed, really good teams. Will Barrington finish them here? They do. That's a game. Carson Skinner waves them goodbye. Barrington is your Deerfield Regional champion. Congrats to the Broncos, who have been phenomenal all season. Goes on to sectional play. Great season for Vernon Hills. What a game we were treated to.
And Ronnie, I am extremely impressed, and that's an understatement. I'll say I'm blown away by this Barrington team. Every player fills their spot and knows their role. Between Cole Harkey at the net and his excellent serving. You look at the libero, Aiden Gilmore, doing it all. You look at Matt Lewis at the net. All of these guys have a role and they fill it. And they're going to do great things in the sectional playoffs.
Yeah, I don't even think it's fair to name an MVP or something, because the whole team just really performed well, played within their roles. They earned the win. And Barrington, let me tell you, you do not want to play this team later in the playoffs.
So I know going forward, Deerfield was the regional host for the regional. Deerfield's not hosting the sectional. I'm unaware of where the sectional's played.
That plaque I was talking about, there it is. Jump around, Barrington. Cole Harkey was holding that up in excitement. Their season continues. But unfortunately, our season announcing Deerfield Sports this year is coming in end for volleyball. It's a sad day. I appreciate that I get to announce this game with my buddy Dylan Traeger. He's in college, so we don't get to do this much often, but this was a treat.
You know, it's always a pleasure being back here, getting to work with you, Ronnie. Great day on the call today. Gonna miss it. Very excited for what the future holds as Barrington takes the regional championship for the IHSA 25-22. We'd like to thank Deerfield High School for hosting this. All the referees, Robert Crable on the PA, Ronnie Mandel on the play-by-play, Ava Pizer on the stream, and everyone else who does all the production.
Dr. Catherine Anderson, Athletic Director Flannery, Assistant Athletic Director Tomlinson, all the workers, everyone involved with this, thank you so much. It's Ronnie and Dylan signing off.
Until next time.